Hey coaches, welcome back. Football Talk with Coach Chip. Today we're going to be looking at some great pass concepts from the trips formation. Let's get started. Now this first one we're going to look at, I just called it money. As when we put this thing in a few years ago, a couple of the assistants and I looked at each other and said, man, that play is money. And that's not a joke. I was showing it the other day on one of the coaching pages on Facebook, and I forget which one. A guy was asking for a good rollout, sprint out scheme. And I remember this one. And I know I've got the quarterback dropping back, but if you put the running back over here so he can help block on the edge, you can simple roll this cat right over here. So that's a good scheme for rollout. And we used it for drop back, and we also every now and then would, just call it for rollout and just call it the money concept. All right, here's how it goes. Let's start over here on the backside. We're going to take the backside receiver and run him on an over, but I start him out like a more mandatory outside release just to get that corner to flip his hips, because he'll flip his hips out and be facing the sideline thinking he's going deep. When he breaks back inside, he'll have that guy on his hips if they're in man, and he'll be able to outrun him on this over route. And it's our over at 22 that we talked about. I'm going to do an episode on the 22, why 22 is such a magic number for us and has been for us for quite some time. And then the receiver over here, and those of y'all that have seen other videos know that we'll go swing or shoot, okay? And just tell you this, whatever's best for you. Some quarterbacks aren't very good at throwing the swing. It's kind of like throwing the bubble. And it's a lot more difficult pass than what it looks like, and some are a little bit better at throwing the shoot and the flat right here. I like the shoot into the flat because it sets up the out and up, the wheel down the sideline, which you can do especially if folks want to go like match up over here and you overload over here and that corner runs with him. And now if you got a good receiving running back, he's one-on-one with an outside backer. And so that's not a bad concept at all. We would do that from time to time as well. All right, working across the formation. Of course, this is 3-step. It's what we do, 3-step out of gun. It'd be 5 or 7-step. And now I recommend that you can go 4 or 5 from the gun. Okay, if you need to get this cat, shorter quarterback, need to get him away from the line of scrimmage. Some guys are using the vertical pass set, coming back here. If you want to back him up, do a 4 or 5 set drop, that's up to you. All right, number 3 right here on the play side, or on the trip side, runs what I call a pivot. All right, I call it a piv out. If we're going to run a whip, he'd whip in, and okay, whip it in, and there's an I in whip for in. So there's an I in pivot too, but you say piv out, pivot, okay? And we got that from our basketball players on the team, a pivot move. And that's at about 4 or 5 yards. And we want him to do this to buy time for this guy to get focused right here. We've even had him do it where he releases at an angle and then comes back out. All right, then number 2, this is the money guy, okay? Years ago, I was at a Florida State clinic. No, it wasn't. It was a camp. And I was there early, and Coach Bowden came in, and he knew me. He called me Ozark because that's where I coached in Alabama at the time. And he sat down with me, and he was drawing plays up on a napkin, and he called this a bench route. So some guys call it a bench route. This, I just call it a deep out. I have called it a money route. Now, this is different. It's not 10, square it off and out. What it is, it's at 10, we tell that receiver to bend and only go as slow as he needs to go to not go deeper than 15. And we tell him 15 is his hard ceiling. 15 is his hard ceiling. He can't go deeper than 15 or he'll get back here. Because if that corner runs deep with number 1, we don't want him drifting. And that takes some reps. Now, you got to stress that. Okay, so what he'll do, and the way I taught it, it was like a speed out at 15. You know how guys will run the speed out and they don't do a cut. They just go as fast as they can and not to get out, speed out. So what we tell them is 10 yards. start doing a speed out. So it'll be no deeper than 15. We'll take 13 or 14. Okay, don't get caught up in that, but they don't need to get deeper than 15. That's money, y'all, because if this corner runs with the more route, mandatory outside release, which means you got to flip his hips and run with him down the sideline. Okay? And this backer drops to his flat. Okay, if you got a quarterback and drop it over the top, it's there. But what we're hoping, and we have done this, we've taken it and said, okay, instead of running a pivot, number 3, just run an out to get the attention of this guy so he'll jump him. Because we want this guy busting butt, number 2, off the line, and then bending that joker. Slowing down just enough to bend it out without going deeper than 15. And I'm telling you, that's the reason we call it money. This is a great concept, and you can do it with drop back, or you can do it with a rollout game. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, here's another trips concept, and you can see over here on the left side, on the weak side, we're doing the same thing. Outside release, and then running your over at 22 right here. All right, and you got the swing or the shoot on the back side from the back, and that's something that you can tag and tell the quarterback if you like your matchup over here, if they're a 4-2-5 team or whatever, and that guy's playing back here. You can name these, whatever system you use, you can tag it and tell the quarterback who to look for. So you can run this thing different ways. Now, we called this one years ago, we called it Bingle, because the guy that gave it to me said he got it from LSU. I don't know, I never saw LSU run it, but that may have been 4 or 5 coordinators ago. Okay, so go with number 3 right here. He's running a pivot. Now, you can do different things with him, okay? Now, I want to show you some other versions of this, okay? This is one, like if your number 3 is like an H-back kind of kid, okay, you don't want him on the deep route, you run him on the pivot here. And I wanted to show you how much it's like the money, all right? Number 2 is running what I call an inside fade, and it almost comes, some folks call this a trail. He's going to break out at an angle and get behind number 1. And number 1's going to make a dig right here. And these arrows are telling him, you're not just running a dig. You're going to stick it, and as you come, you're looking at the defense and seeing where the hole is and sit your fanny down. Okay, especially, if it's a zone. Now tell him, if it's man, you're digging all the way. If somebody's chasing you, it's dig all the way, and you just keep working all the way across. All right, but right here is what I'm trying to show you is he can sit down in an open spot. Go to grass. Find grass. Tell the quarterback he's reading grass. Now, number 2 is trailing number 1 right here. When number 1 makes his end cut on the dig, he just keeps going right down the yellow brick road. Go to our yellow brick road episode where I'll show you that drill. This is a great drill for deep balls, especially for your 1s and your 2s. 3s, not so much. And he's going to run the yellow brick road. And what we want to do, we want that corner to go with him. But if that corner breaks and goes with that dig, okay, for whatever reason, right now, quarterback, throw it in the hole. Don't throw it deep where the safety can come over the top, whether they're in cover 2 or cover 3. You don't want to throw it deep. If you see that corner hesitate at all, you drop that thing right there, right now. Okay? You hum it. So he's running a dig, which becomes a sit. And he's running what I call an inside fade. And it's a fade, but he's starting from the inside. He's going to work in an angle, get behind number 1. Okay? And then you can do switches on it. Okay, you can call this and say switch with 1 and 2. And 2 can run the dig, and 1 keeps running the deep route. Now, we call it a fade, and I know it's not really a fade because it's not one step and he's not throwing it right away. But it's a fade in essence, in the sense he's running down the yellow brick road, and the quarterback is going to throw it here in the hole and fade him to the sideline to get him away from the safety. All right, next. Now, for whatever reason, same concept, okay? But now look, he's running the dig still. He's now running the pivot, and he's running what I call a hot seam. Because here's why. Guys, I can't tell you. This past year, we had this concept right here. I can't tell how many times this joker was open right here. Right here. Because this outside backer is consumed with number 2. Okay? And we had the big H right here. It was really like a tight end. And we would, this quarterback take one step. Well, he was taking his 3-step drop, but as soon as he took that first step, if that guy didn't go right here, he hummed it right in there. Now, is it a great long yardage play? No, obviously not. That safety's right here. Boom, he's a good tackler making the tackle. Okay? But you're talking about 6, 7, 8 yards. Yeah. And by the way, one of the biggest mistakes we make, everybody thinks talking about balance, being 50-50. Best thing to be, if you're going to throw the ball at all, is be 50-50 on first down. Then second, third down don't matter. Because third and long, everybody knows what you're going to do. Okay? But on the only guaranteed neutral down you have in football, guaranteed, every possession is 1st and 10. So now you're a 50-50. And if you're a 50-50 guy on first down, you're given a DC. Any DC that says different is lying. Kind of like the wing T coaches when they lie about when they say they love penetration. They're lying. Okay? They love penetration on the edge. They hate penetration in the A and B gap. Believe me. Okay? You go 50-50. Run this play on first down. This guy's going to be open. And if he's not, that means this guy's going to be open or this guy's going to be open. Automatic. Because if they bring him over here and he takes away the hot, who's got the friggin' dig? So, oh, the mic's going to get him, coach. Yeah, in what world? Look at there, sitting in the window. Outside backer's gone right here. Okay? And one of the reasons this guy's always open, this hot seam, and when I say open, I don't mean open down here. I mean open right in here, is because the worst pass defenders on any football field, besides the defensive linemen, are the 2 inside linebackers. I'll die on that hill. Okay? Comment below if you don't believe me. You got a differing opinion? Let me know. Hey, if you want these slides, let me know. It's siegel.chip@gmail.com. Siegel.chip@gmail.com. Don't forget, things are picking up on that Football Talk with Coach Chip page on Facebook. Folks, hit me up. Share this. Subscribe. If you want it, it's yours. Hit me up on the comments below. Leave your email address or email me. I'll send you these slides. Any coaching points, any questions you got, if I can answer them, I'll answer them. Listen here. If I got it and you don't, it's because you didn't ask. Hey, until next time, be elite.